Hey YouTube, this is React City and Michael.
I'm Rose.
I'm Nikki.
And this is Jujutsu Kaisen Re-Zero. Wait,
Nope.
Jujutsu Kaisen 0.
Yes.
Yeah, so in this part of the episode, we're going to try to keep it spoiler free for the first part where we just talk about the movie, whether you guys should see it or not. So we want to keep it completely open so you guys can come and watch that. But then the second part, I'll tell you when. We'll have a spoiler discussion where we break down what happens in the show. So right now, we're just going to go overall tones. But yeah, very interesting movie that we just all came to see. How do you guys feel about it overall right now?
Overall, it was an interesting movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I mentioned this one after we left the movie theater. I was really excited that they managed to make the movie just as interesting, even with a different main character.
Yeah.
Yes. It's really curious because apparently Yuta was originally the person that was introduced to the first to the whole show.
Yeah,
in
the
books.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the books. He was the person that came out first, and then Itadori came later. Very interesting.
So, you keep saying this, and the more I think about it, the more makes me nervous. But the show isn't called Itadori Yuji, you know? It's called Jujutsu Kaisen. So it may mean that the show is not necessarily about this one kid, Itadori. Even though that's the way the show has been introduced, is like he is the center. But if you look at this movie and you look at how they introduced it in the books, it's like this guy from the movie was the center, Yuta. So it's like Yuta. Sorry, I was saying with an American accent. Sorry. So you wonder, like, who is the main character of the series? You know, like, is there one? Is it just about?
Is it Gojo?
He's the common denominator. But yeah, so the way they pulled off this movie really highlighted that thought for me as we were talking about it afterwards.
Yeah.
As a movie, it doesn't feel like a traditional movie. It doesn't have the introduction, then rise and the fall, then rise and the fall. It's got, this is the character, this is what he's going through, and then you go to here, you go to there. It felt like an episode.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
but longer and grander.
Yeah. I think one of the things that helped it stand out as a movie or pushed it into movie territory was the artwork.
Yeah.
From the start, like the first thing I wrote in my notes was pretty. It was so pretty. And it, like, they had CGI in there a couple of times, I think. It could have just been, like, super awesome 3D drawing. Like, the way they did it it did not look like it was hand-drawn for a second. And we'll get into that later. I'll hopefully remember to bring it up. But it felt like the artwork, the way they animated it, really pulled it off well, I think, to feel movie-esque.
Did you feel the same way about the artwork?
Yeah, it was especially the action scenes. Those were incredibly pretty.
Oh yeah, those were good.
Yeah, when the fighting started, I don't know what, I want to say almost traumatized by Dragon Ball Z. Every time fist fights start, I expect it to just go to the... Yeah, every time.
It almost did at one point.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the fight scenes are well choreographed. You can see the skill in everybody, even in the person who is losing. And I really enjoy that. You can see it in everyone.
Yeah.
And how about that music?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the music was good.
I like
Soundtrack
the
perfect.
music. Yeah.
That heavy rock overtone, but it still fits the vibe of the episode.
Yeah.
Movie.
Yeah. I really liked to go back to the action scene thing. They picked out a few characters to highlight their fight scenes.
Yeah.
Like, we got our, oldies but goodies kind of fight scenes that were good, and then we got some surprises. Like, oh, I didn't think we'd get to see this one. Yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah. It was interesting to see all the characters come back from the other, like, maybe Kyoto School got a few highlights here and there. But it wasn't egregious where it was like, all right, now this guy.
Yeah,
now that
it wasn't.
guy.
Yeah, it was just here and there, and like, oh, surprise.
Yeah, and they're there in the background, but not everybody gets a special moment because it's not that, it didn't have time for that, really.
Yeah.
Speaking of time for that, how do you guys feel about the pacing?
In the beginning, it felt a little fast. Like, I mean, they probably only did it because of the time constraints, but in the first half, it felt like I didn't have enough time to take in the emotions of what was happening. It was like, and this is happening, and then that's happening. No, this is happening now.
You know what? It's funny. I was very mesmerized and drawn in the beginning. Like, the beginning part, I was tracking, and then it was the middle. I started feeling like, it's kind of rushed, guys. Relationship building, I felt like they were doing a lot of flashbacks, like right after we just saw a scene.
Yeah.
So it was like, I just saw that. You really didn't have to show me again. They were trying to build up, relationship is building right now.
Yeah.
And I understood in the moment, they only have an hour and 45. They can't drag this out over episodes long. So they had to do it. But I lost connection to the world. I was kind of pulled out of the world in that moment. So that was more in the middle, though. I was tracking in the beginning. It was in the middle that happened with me.
I think I got a similar feeling. It didn't quite pull me out of it, but I did get the feeling of, had the author decided to keep Yuta, this would have been his season 1. I could see this entire movie being a season 1 because they do some big time skips in this show.
Yeah, this is true.
Very big time skips. I think upwards of a year eventually accumulated. Because at one point they say 6-month pass of training, right?
I remember the 3-month mark. I don't remember. I didn't remember taking note anymore.
But then later, another character says he's only been here for a year, or something like that. Less than a year. So a long time has passed, and it's to excuse the character relationship build up, but also skill gain and stuff like that. So we do skip over those kind of things. I do say I think I prefer a faster paced movie when it comes to action like this.
True.
But there were times that it felt like we're jumping.
Yeah.
A couple times. But as a movie, do you guys, how do you rate this? Not actually like letter rating. Is this a movie you would suggest people go out and see?
Yeah, I could suggest it because it's not so heavily dependent on the series that you would miss stuff. Like you would miss some of the cameos, but the cameos weren't put in there in a way that makes you feel like you're missing
anything. Yeah, that's true. I would recommend people to go watch it as well. The fact that it's like not someone from what we've been seeing, like the main character wasn't someone we've been seeing. At first I was like, what do you mean it's not about, like we thought it was Megumi's flashback or something. He's like, what do you mean it's not Megumi's flashback? So I was a little like, I'm not sure I'm gonna enjoy this, but I enjoyed it. I got into it. I felt connected to Yuta. And they did a good job connecting me to the character. So even if you didn't see any of the previous Jujutsu Kaisen episodes, I think you'd enjoy it. But I think you'd enjoy it more if you did watch the first season. I think you'd feel like, I'm vibing, I think you'd enjoy it.
It's kind of weird. I feel like this movie would almost be a good jumping in point for a larger story if it weren't for the fact the main character isn't actually the main character from the other series. But yeah, aside from that, I feel like it needs to be watched on the big screen to be appreciated on a higher level. If this was on a Crunchyroll, if you're just going to see this on a regular TV, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much.
I agree.
So I think that if you can get it for a decent price, it is worth seeing it in a movie theater. I think the experience will be ticked down a notch if you just see it on a regular screen.
I agree.
One thing I will warn though is, Jujutsu Kaisen can be a pretty heavy show at times. This does not hold any punches in this movie. It gives us some very heavy subject matter a couple times. So yeah, just if you're squeamish, you probably aren't even watching this show to begin with. No. But just fair warning. Is that everything you guys want to say overall before we get into the details?
I think so.
All right. So at this point, we're going to have a spoiler discussion, which, as the name implies, we're going to go through everything, every scene of what we feel like. Maybe we're just going to think some things that we skip over because this is really just a discussion. This is not a proper review. So yeah, you had your warning. Get out of here if you don't want spoilers.
Get out of here.
And stay if you want them. So, from the top.
Yes. So we see two tiny little people decide to get married.
Did we see that in the very top though?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. First we see Okotsu kill people. Or rather Rika.
Was that first?
That
that was first. He was being bullied and Rika was like, don't bully Yuta.
And apparently those people lived.
Yes, that was weird. No, I do not understand. I think it was a lie. I think they were covering. Yeah. They opened it and showed like thing. There's no way that lived.
And blood leaking out of the locker. A lot of blood.
You know what I think they did? They did what they did with, oh gosh, what was his name? The guy that was in the intro we thought was gonna be like a part of the school in the first season, and he ended up dying.
Yeah.
What?
You were the one who was pointing out don't trust the intros because of it.
Oh,
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pulled what they did for him was like say, oh, he moved away because of the bullying or something like that. Like they told some story. There's probably just that they were kind of like saying along the way for us to hear. I don't know, hear to cover up.
Yeah, I mean, it set the tone for the show for sure, though.
Yeah. From the start.
I mean, when it started this movie, like, we're going, first of all, which is a new character. I was like, okay, what kind of character? It's going from Yuji to him. At first, I was like, I might have a hard time adapting to him because he seems a bit more wimpy-ish at first. But then you get to see the flashbacks and all that stuff that happens. And I almost want more of him than I want Yuji. How do you guys feel about him?
You have complained before that you feel like Yuji's character is not enough there for you.
I have.
Yeah, so, and I feel like this guy has more of a story. At least we get more of his story. Yuji, we want to know, who is this grandfather? What is his past? Why is he super strong?
Why does he not like his parents?
Yeah, we have no answers for him. But this kid...
Does all of his family have pink hair?
This kid, we get a little bit more. We get at least his relationship with Rika from early on. We're like, wow, it's kind of messed up. But yeah, but I feel like we at least get where he's coming from emotionally.
Yeah.
And we can understand his reasons and his fears. And we're kind of connected with him a little bit better that way.
There's a literal monster under his bed his whole life.
Literally.
Whereas Yuji is kind of just standard anime protagonist with incredible powers, and it never really gets into who he is. Yeah.
And Yuji's kind of never been like, oh wow, all this actually exists. What? He's just like, okay.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Okatsu's more like reacting like a normal human being. Like, what do you mean, Jujutsu sorcerer? You know, and all that. Like, I love the first test that Gojo took him to and supervised. He just leaves him in there, and he what's her name? Maki has to be like telling him what is happening.
Yeah, at the elementary.
And he's like, dude, I feel like ghosts are here. I don't know. It was interesting to see his reaction just felt real. And compared to Yuji broke through a window and attacked a monster and did not ask questions.
Yeah.
Ate a finger that looked disgusting and gnarly and didn't like, oh, I'll get the powers? Is that what you're saying? You're saying eat it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just did things that are not what we would think to do.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Maybe it was just harder to connect to him.
I wonder if his past is gonna explain some of this.
I hope
like
so.
Maybe he's had just like such a rough childhood because of his parents. That's why he doesn't like his parents. Why he lives with his grandfather. Why he eats fingers. Tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first thing that came to mind when I saw that whole Rika thing, because they had shown the monster, then they showed the little girl, I had assumed that what if she had issues beforehand as well, because it kind of shows them both in that hospital, right?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, they were both sick.
They're both sick. Why were they sick? You know.
And I wonder if they were just like hospital best friends, like the park that we see them playing in. I wonder if that was school or if that was just like outside the hospital. Because they don't show any other context. Like, how do they get better? Like, how do they connect after coming out of the hospital? How are they just magically at the same school? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that were left out. Could have just been left out of the movie. No time, and it was in the manga or something. But I don't know. I wonder, like, their connection. Like, it felt a little, I don't know, missing. Stuff were missing.
I didn't quite feel like things were missing. I kind of got the feeling that things were being seeded for maybe later.
Oh, okay. Just to give us context.
Yeah, because they later with a whole big reveal, and again, it's a spoiler discussion where they talk about how he was the one who cursed Rika and stuff like that. So they kind of shadow things in a way that purposely leaves out context. Like maybe with the parents thing is why they don't talk about the parents, his lineage, why is it only showing up with him now?
The lineage was important at the end,
Yeah, he's a distant relative of Gojo.
Okay.
Which explains the OP powers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what makes it manifest in a person? Because if it was continual in a line, you'd assume they'd either be a part of the school or wiped out.
Yeah.
So what made it show up in him? Was it just the trauma that called upon that part of him?
I was wondering if it was just the emotion. Because the whole curse thing is based on emotions,
It's all
right?
emotions.
So this very strong emotion that he had at that point kind of like triggered it in him.
The monster designs are incredible as per usual. Nothing feels recycled at all.
No.
Yeah. And it's just as creepy.
Something I noticed is, So they've already talked about the weaker monsters and stuff like how they remember that one time they kept one in a little cage to track that guy.
Yeah.
So they were sort of leaving a lot of them alone when they're walking through the school.
Oh yeah.
So
Don't really.
yeah, so
bother
just
with them.
sometimes they just ignore the weaker ones that don't hurt anybody, I guess.
I think it stems from the fact that they're born constantly. You know, you just have to be angry long enough. You know, have enough people angry in one spot. You got a new curse. So it's like if you go around trying to eradicate all existing curses, you're gonna just run yourself ragged. You need to deal with the big ones.
Pick your battles.
Pick your battles, basically. In a world where curses just exist without your input, is like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Then Yuta is captured by the Jujutsu sorcerers, and they were like, "Let's just kill him." That seems to be their answer to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Let's just kill him.
And of course, Gojo, being his Gojo self, was talking his way out of it. And he was like, he walks out and was like, "Stupid old people." He was so upset.
As per usual.
Something else that was interesting from this flashback, his eye wrap thing. I thought we would see a reason why he ended up with a black one later on, but it's white.
Well,
it looks like just cloth.
It seems like he just like he upgrades over time, because we saw that flashback when he was in high school. He was just wearing sunglasses. So he gets captured. Gojo gives him the pep talk of a lifetime. He talk no jutsus him into not killing himself. And he's like, "Aren't you lonely though?" And then he's like, "Yeah." And
Yeah, basically.
Like, sure.
Yeah, good talk to her because I was lonely.
Yeah, I was lonely. So then he joins the school, and everybody's instantly. As soon as he walks into the room, everybody feels it.
Yes.
Kill him, basically.
What's her name? I don't know if everybody saw, but I think at least Maki saw Rika in the beginning when he was stepping in.
I would assume everybody
just-
did, because Maki can only see through her glasses.
Right.
Well, the glasses are better, but yeah, I assume everybody saw it. I liked their response because it made sense. Because even it's not, if they got used to him immediately, it would be a plot hole for why they reacted the way to Yuji. Because when Yuji shows up, they're highly suspicious of him then, because he's straight up a curse, you know. So I do like the consistency from back then. It's like immediately at arms. They do not see these things as having any potential of intelligence. Any single one of them is a threat, which to me it informs more about Gojo, because Gojo sits at the top of the food chain as far as we know. So he can take risks. He's not afraid of anything.
Right.
Which is why everyone else's immediate response is kill it, because they can't take risks.
Yeah. I like how Gojo's, I guess, method of teaching is let them experience the pain and then tell them. Like he doesn't warn them, "Oh, by the way, he's cursed. Don't attack. By the way, because it'll attack you, and it's a special grade." Like no, he just stands there while they're like talking bad to him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "You should probably back up." Too late.
And it's like, "Oh, by the way, this is what the school is."
Yeah.
And then they're all like, he didn't tell them.
Yeah, maybe you like to see their reaction to the thing and then judge them afterwards.
Right, and elementary school, he is completely scared because he has had nobody told him anything.
No,
he's just like, "Go here."
Yeah, I was so surprised. Like, not even a little bit of training. Gojo just sent him in. I was like, "What are you doing, Gojo?" But we find out later, like his goal was to let Rika out.
Yeah,
or let him let
see what
Rika
he
out.
can do.
See what happened. Yeah.
Swallowed up by this huge monster, and they find two little churlin inside the stomach.
The missing children.
Yuta is still freaking out.
Yes, and he's immune to the curse. Resistant, but Maki isn't, and we find out later it's because she
has no
curse energy. But he was basically the only one who was able to rescue them, and he puts the ring on.
Yes, he's like, "Rika."
He kind of accepts a part of it.
Yes, and that's where we first hear Rika's real voice talking to him in his head. And she was like, "Yes, Yuta? What is it?"
It's so weird because she still sounds so sweet.
Yeah.
And then that huge thing comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while Rika is totally
having
wailing
fun
on that thing, Yuta is struggling with carrying 4 people.
Yeah.
2 of which are churlin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just collapses outside of the veil.
And Gojo's
right
like,
there.
"Good job.
Good job. Very good job."
Nicely done. Yeah. And then is that for? I think after that is
just before we go to the next fight is another meeting with the old guys. Gojo gets chewed out for letting Rika out. And he decides, okay, let's not let Rika out again because he's gonna get in trouble.
Oh, and he also says, if you decide to go against what's his name, Okotsu, I'm gonna side with him.
Yes.
I was like, Gojo. That was fun.
Yeah, Gojo is always willing to take a stand for his students.
Yeah.
As soon as he accepts them, it's like Mama Bird.
Yeah.
So, from what we see about Gojo throughout the movie, I think it more and more talks about Gojo's past. Because it's not the first time we've heard him talk about no one's allowed to take like the youth away from children. I think something like that happened to him and his friends, which we come to learn Geto was one of his friends.
Yeah.
So maybe he's unwilling to let what happened to him happen to others.
Yeah. And maybe that's why he's always kind of kept a childish air, you know, because he's never maybe he's felt robbed of that time of his life, so he's like, no, I'm gonna live it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
This is punishment on all of you.
Because he is from one of the like big three families.
Yeah, so it makes sense. He, with his power so strong, he probably was like exhibiting it from very young.
And they probably were like, it's train, darn it, train.
That's why it's so good.
And then is Inumaki fight, or did they have like a mini sparring session between that? Was that then?
Oh yeah, I think they started training with the sword, because he goes with the Inumaki with the sword.
Yes,
the spear sword. What was
sword.
It? Sword.
It was just a sword.
Yeah.
Katana.
Yeah.
So Gojo is like he got infused the power into the sword.
Yeah, that way she doesn't have to come out.
And it's still not entirely clear on how
that works.
It's
just he was saying the connection, just like he did it with the ring to connect to her, is the same way he can do with a sword. So it's like utilizing her cursed energy and putting it into the sword.
Okay.
Because she's a separate entity.
Yeah.
She's like over there, and he pulls a part of her, puts it in the ring, and uses it as a bridge to connect between the two.
Yeah.
So doing the same thing with the sword.
Oh, okay.
I was seriously like nervous that she was gonna come out accidentally, especially like what happened to Inumaki. You know, it was a bigger fight than they expected, and he unfortunately lost his throat spray. But was it a spray? Because he ended up drinking it.
It was a spray, but he took off the top.
Okay,
he just downed that thing. Yeah. So Inumaki fight. Inumaki was just trying to be friendly, and he's just terrified.
Yeah. This was one of the moments where I felt like, gosh, guys, so rushed. Like that place, he starts having flashbacks of Inumaki's kind moments. I was like, we just saw that. We know.
We were here. I promise.
But it was just trying to establish that he's understanding Inumaki even though he can't understand his words. It's like, oh, he's a kind person. He's trying to save me. He doesn't want me to fight. He was just trying to, calm my nerves and things like that.
He even like stopped speaking in like a normal person so that he doesn't curse anyone.
Exactly. Yeah. He's trying to protect us by using these other words. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I was wondering why he hadn't learned sign language, but then I was thinking, well, everyone else going to have to learn sign language to understand him. But everyone's already learning another language
like tuna, polycultural salmon, all that stuff.
Learn hand signs, man.
Hand signs.
Exactly.
It's worth it, I promise. And then, I'll just rate the fight. That they were supposed to go in, just have like it's supposed to be low grade stuff in the shopping area, and no, that didn't happen. Well, they took out a lot of. It was a lot of.
Oh yes,
like a hive.
Yeah. So one of the things Okotsu learned from the first fight was when they're weak, they group together. Oh yeah, because the first set, that's where we see Maki's fight. The first fight Maki had on the elementary school was the 3 long-tongued things. Remember these 3 tall things, and they were like. Yeah, and she does really cool.
Yeah,
and that's where she does this real spin in the air looking CGI thing. And then that's where he learns, okay, when they're small, they group together. She taught him. Weak. Or sorry, yeah, when they're weaker, they group together. And then this time we see like a bajillion of them. little tiny things grouped together. And then, what's his name? Inumaki kills him like easily. Well, kinda, because he starts like sore throat after that.
Yeah.
But
immediately.
Tuna.
He has to have a very high pain tolerance because we kind of see he's kind of hardcore as well. Like when his finger got messed up by the monster.
Yeah, he just like
no response.
No response. Yeah.
Which makes me wonder how painful his throat must be for it to be making him double over like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he spits blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't think that makes sense.
where his voice box is.
It's literally like destroying his throat.
Well, I get that, but how is he still able to speak after blood?
It's true. This is a good question.
They need to find a better method. Yeah.
Anything else about that scene?
Also right before that, we get a little rundown of like the different type of, I guess, heavenly pacts. I think it was, and we saw the symbol that Inumaki has on his mouth.
Oh yeah.
And we also see that he has a little thing on his tongue. We didn't
he has
see
a
that
symbol
before,
on his tongue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so apparently there's just hundreds of them, and this is one of them.
Oh yeah. I remember now the scene of all of them. So there's like lots of different possible, manifestations of the abilities that can happen, and then cursed speeches was his.
But then
that was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. From there we get on to see Geto again for the first time in a long time for us. I kind of missed him.
Just kind of chilling up there with his whatever those other things were.
Yeah. So this Inumaki fight Geto orchestrated with this new guy in order to pull out Rika.
With the was like floating elephant-ish thing.
Yeah. And something else, he also put a veil over. So Gojo put a veil, and then he also put no, wasn't Gojo with him, it was the other guy.
It was a driver dude.
Oh,
I wish I could remember his name. He is MVP.
Yeah. He put a veil, and then Gojo put a second veil. That's why they were like, what are we going to do about this veil? Because it was supposed to lift, but it didn't.
Double veil. Yeah, so Geto's got like his own like religious group going on.
Yeah, in order to collect curses.
Very weird. So his business strategy is he takes it away, you keep donating, and he keeps it away. But if you stop, he just kills you.
Well, so he's but it was like he had two types of monkeys, remember? He had the one that was the money supply and one that was the curse supply.
You're right, yes.
So you had the set of people, the old lady included, which would be the source of getting more curses. So he would I think he almost like put something on them that attracts curses, because she believed in him that he can get rid of it.
Yeah, sure.
But then the guy, if he keeps giving money, he doesn't get cursed. So he was kind of like had a threat over his head.
Yes.
I totally misunderstood that that explanation during the movie, because I thought he was saying that the types of people, the ways they get cursed. Whereas like somebody gets cursed once, and then the type of person who just keeps is a hive for curses. They just keep coming back. I thought he was saying that's the kind of person that the rich dude was, where he just keeps getting cursed over and over and over and over again.
No. He was the money source. So that's why he was
totally
like
misunderstood.
That's why he was like, get rid of this curse, I know you're doing it.
I'm giving you so much money.
Yeah, but he apparently stopped.
Apparently he's broke.
He's broke, yeah. And therefore he died. Very viciously.
I mean, at that point, if you realize I'm gonna go broke if I keep doing this, wouldn't you try to find something else? I mean, how does one find the Jujutsu Kaisen sorcerers?
Yeah, probably that's the problem, right? Because he only knows of Geto, obviously, in this area. So he probably doesn't have, and he's probably not like a upstanding guy. So he probably doesn't even feel safe going to anyone else. Did you see the way he
went down those stairs? Nobody who's a good person goes down the stairs that way. What was that?
What do you mean like that, huh?
Right.
But it's such a weird thing to look at. But Geto's got like, he does not associate with humans as their same species.
No.
But his own group, he really treats them very lovingly.
Yeah. Anyone who can, see curses, that's what makes you a Jujutsu sorcerer.
Well, if you can manipulate the magic.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
No, I'm just saying Maki had brought up
that's the requirement to be a sorcerer.
Be a sorcerer, you had to at least see them. Right. So I think he just says if you're capable, you're a Jujutsu sorcerer, I consider you one of mine. One of my species. And if you are incapable,
monkey.
You're a monkey.
Return to monkey.
And then we have. Oh, and then they talk about. We go flashback to Yuta, and he's talking with Panda. We're sleeping on Panda too much. Like Panda just got introduction. He is Panda. Panda's Panda. And then we don't even get a bonding session with him.
Yeah,
and
Panda doesn't get a moment.
Looking forward to Panda.
Everybody else gets a moment.
What did Panda?
No fights together, not time, nothing.
And Panda also misunderstanding. He's like, Maki and Yuta.
Yes.
And then Panda misunderstanding Maki and Yuta.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, Yuta, come over here. Big or small. Yeah. And then he's like, Maki, you have a chance. That was funny. And then Maki also had a moment where she was. I wrote down a-hole Maki because she was pretending to understand Yuta at one point. I don't remember exactly when.
Very early in the movie, before they even went on to the mission.
And that too, but it was when. Oh, maybe it was.
That's really okay. You wrote it all the way up here. So.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm following here. It's fine. It's okay.
Somewhere in the mix there, before we get the big fight, Gojo has a flashback, and we get to see Gojo's relationship with Geto. Mm-hmm. That they trained together, grew up together,
mm-hmm.
and
went to school together.
And we see the moment they separate when Geto is saying he can't live like this. He can't hold his head high in this school or whatever. Mm-hmm. And what's his name? Gojo? Yeah, Gojo realizes this is bad.
Yeah.
And knows he has to kill him.
Yeah.
And doesn't.
Yeah.
He can't. And we find out later because, he considered him his best friend.
His only friend.
His only friend. Only best friend.
And it was there for a split second, but when he was sitting with Geto in one of the flashbacks, there was a girl there amongst the friends.
Yeah, there was a couple.
She looks a lot like Nobu.
But
it was super fast, so maybe I'm just misplacing the face. But
our Nobu.
It looks a lot like our Nobu. So I was wondering maybe there's a relation, like maybe parents. Yeah. So Geto and him go way back. We didn't really get to see any of that in season 1 with Jujutsu Kaisen at all.
No, so, yeah. They didn't even interact at all.
Not at all.
We also, I think it was around there we learn. It was around there we learn the reason Geto is like they want to kill him now because he like killed like 100 Jujutsu sorcerers, cursed them to death.
No, it was normal people.
Oh, normal people. He cursed 100 people, normal people to death.
Yeah, so he's a serial killer.
Yeah, basically he's gone mad.
I just want to point out, so in every single universe where there's a group of people or a proportion of population that gets an ability, there's always that human muggle war, like between people with powers and people who don't have powers. And there's always, the main bad guy is always the guy who can collect powers. You notice? Like, thinking like the American TV show Heroes, Slater, or something like that. Oh, yeah. My Hero Academia, All for One. This
is true.
I see a pattern.
I'm telling you. And they're always related to the strongest guy, somehow.
Okay, so what you're saying is if powers are ever discovered in the real world, we gotta kill the one that can collect.
Yeah.
Do it before they do it to us. Right. And then the Geto comes to the school and they meet the students.
Yeah.
And
they came to declare war.
Right before that, the principal is like, he speaks English, and he's gonna say, damn. His English is so funny. I don't know why, but yeah, then they're bolting to meet them.
Yeah. It was a tense moment, but they were just coming to say, we're declaring war. We're gonna do this thing on this date.
Yeah.
Make sure you're there. Be square or be square.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed the war scene. I wish we could have seen a bit more of it, but I understand they just didn't have time to show all of it. I said in earlier reaction, you can tell the skill between people even when one's winning, one's losing. Mm-hmm. That the guy we come to know is Miguel, the black fighter with the whip thing.
Yeah.
Very good fighting.
Yeah.
I love that scene, and I love that they knew it has to be him because they're like, you just need to hold him off for this amount of time. Mm-hmm. We'll deal with everyone else.
Yes.
Just you.
Just you.
Against him. Yeah.
And his hair thing that he was whipping with, that he was unfortunately losing.
It was like a rope.
Yeah, that took years to weave.
Decades by all his sorcerers from his country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. And what's his name? Gojo's making short work of it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I was like, why is Gojo still going? I wasn't convinced Miguel was that strong. That's what I guess what I was saying. Like, I was like, Gojo, you could take him out so fast, but he wasn't. Like, he was fist fighting him. Like, I liked the scenes. Mm-hmm. I liked the fight, but I was like, I was like, what are you doing, Gojo? You're the one in a rush, Gojo.
They want to like detonate the whole area.
I guess, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But he still like destroyed a building in one of the attacks.
He shattered the windows.
It was just the windows.
And I think a part of it has to do with Miguel's abilities, because remember they said like he counters Gojo's powers.
He was disrupting his powers.
That's right. I remember now. Okay, that makes more sense.
Which is why Gojo's trying to destroy it, I think.
That explains it.
Oh, it's Duolingo. It sounds like someone screaming. It's just Duolingo speaking in the background. Yeah.
And then we find out that the Kyoto and Tokyo is being attacked just as a distraction, so that Gojo could go get what's his name, Yuta.
And Gojo figures out real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, he figures, listen, he won't kill these two kids. So
yes.
then we'll stall him.
Yes. Yeah. That was like, when he sent them, I was like, there's no way they can send up to Ghetto. But we find out, like you said, he just knew he wasn't gonna kill them. He trusted that. He said that. I trusted you not to kill them.
Yeah.
And Ghetto was like, it's a long time since I heard that word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he absolutely bodied Maggie, though.
Yeah, poor Mackie.
Can we talk about the fact that, where did Yuta get those healing powers?
Yuta got a lot of powers in that last scene. He could use
Inumaki's
power.
Collector?
He could also use Inumaki's power. Did you see that with the thing?
Yeah.
It disintegrated it, but
I could buy that.
Yes.
Because I could buy that his Inumaki's got some things, like emergency things, because it was destroyed, like you're saying, you know? Mm-hmm. It's just, where did he confidently...
Yes, he's like, I know what to do.
Healing bubble.
Yeah, I was like, what? Everybody in the theater was like, whoa.
Yeah, the whole theater.
Everyone was so confused.
That was hilarious.
Yes. Everyone was like, what?
It's like, did we miss something? Right, and then Rika has a little panic moment. She's like, why is it always you with Maki?
Yes, with Maki, yeah.
And then he was like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I was kind of like nervous for that moment because he was super like serious. Was like, handle her gently, Rika. I was like, please don't get Rika on your bad side. Please.
Yeah. I thought that might happen as well.
Yeah. But she submitted really immediately.
I was like, I'm sorry. She's like, don't hate me. And he was like, I could never hurt you. And then I wonder if that bubble was a healing bubble, or if it was like a yoink your powers bubble.
Oh, like he. Oh. And that's why he was able to use Inumaki's power.
That's the reason he was only able to use Inumaki's power. One is a panda, one has no energy.
Yes.
Yeah, I also like that we got to see Panda use his beast mode thing that got revealed in season 1, but it makes sense, he's always had it.
Yeah.
So it just showed it back here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was super interesting.
What's his name though? Ghetto was really excited by the fighting with them because he was like, this affection for each other is what I want, and he was crying and going on.
And I'm wondering if that is something about his past as well. Like, what if at one point, I'm just jumping to conclusions, that girl that was in the group got killed maybe because they put priority on humans over the sorcerers at some point in time.
And he's all about protecting the sorcerers.
Yeah, they're the real people that matter to him.
Maybe. And then maybe also it's that he the uppers pitted the students against each other to like compete for
which
ranking.
is still going on. Yeah.
They used to do that. Yeah, because remember the strip said that Kyoto and Tokyo would duel as a yearly thing.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So, I was sorry, just the noise is freaking me out.
Yeah.
I was 100% certain that he was going to marry Rika, Because I thought in the back of my mind that I could remember Yuta when they introduced him in season 1, like, just had that little flash. I thought he was wearing like a suit. So I thought he was going to have a whole like groom thing going on with Rika. But no, they just, had a very weird kiss.
Yeah, oh my gosh, everybody in the theater was like, we went crazy. It's like, ah! It's like, why?
Some guys went, hey yo!
Really?
There was a kid like one chair away from me too. I was like, oh no. Don't dream about that kid. Stop. Don't look.
Don't kiss the monster under your bed. Don't do it. Right, and then also in that fight, we see that just before that, Yuta, really fast.
Oh yeah, he was getting faster and faster.
Yes, Yuta is speed. Don't know why.
I think it's proportional to the amount of energy you have.
Yeah, and Rika was like, remember he told her, see that guy, we're gonna kill him because we hate him. And he's like, I hate him too.
Yeah.
So and then also after the kiss, basically ignited Rika's passion, and she lent like all her power to him. Basically, was what happened. So that's why he was able to do that final attack on Gedo and take an arm.
And Gedo released. They had estimated that he had over 2,000. He had
4,461
curses stored up.
Yeah.
Nuts.
And it was the Maelstrom.
Maelstrom.
Maelstrom. That's his power name. Yeah.
I think the actual, like in real world, a maelstrom is like a curse, not a curse, a storm so bad, people consider it almost an act of God.
It's a superstorm, yeah.
Superstorm.
I love the ability. Reminds me a lot of All for One's same combo attack, where it just puts everything in one. It turned into this weird gray goo almost thing that attacked. I am actually surprised that Yuta was able to not only block that, but blow his arm right off.
Yeah. Yuta came out on top on that.
Yeah. So it's interesting. We've got a situation now where Yuta's peak power, which seems to be that scene, is higher than Gedo's, but he can't get there again.
Higher than 4,461 curses.
And as far as we know, Gedo is one of the top strongest people on the planet.
Right.
As far as we know.
Right.
Because Gedo is a special grade.
Yeah.
One of only 4.
Right. Oh yeah, that was one thing we got that. Okay, so there was a little bit of confusion too, like we were talking about. Was Yuta plus Rika the special grade, or just Rika the special grade? I understood it as Rika was a special grade curse that he could wield, but he wasn't necessarily a special grade. She made him a special grade, I guess. But was he special grade?
Well, I would agree that she made him the special grade until the reveal that he made her.
Right.
So it's on his ID card, he's the special grade.
Technically, he's the special grade,
Yeah, and it said there's only 4 special grade people, 16 special grade curses.
Yeah.
And we know Gojo is one of them. And Yuta is one of them. Later, I think Yuji becomes one.
Yuji is a special grade.
He's a special grade, so he's the 5th one after this. And then we also have Gojo as one.
There's one missing.
Yes.
Remember the girl he brought out? That thing that he brought out, he said, this is one of them.
That was a curse, though.
That was a curse.
Oh, it was a curse, okay.
And what's his name? Toto is a special grade.
Is he?
Yes.
It would make sense.
He's either first grade or special grade. I think he's special grade after this event.
I'm fairly certain he's first grade without using his powers, and then special grade when he uses his powers.
Yes.
I think that's it.
Okay.
I'm
so
not sure.
It's undecided who the 4th person is.
Yeah.
Because I think it was after this battle of the march thing. I forgot what it's called, but the march that he gets upgraded. I think.
Right. He got promoted after the battle.
That's right. I was gonna bring that up. That I think this was the famed battle they were talking about, where he did the big fight all by himself.
And we still don't get to see him.
We don't see it. No.
We just kind of glimpsed that he was fighting this giant Cyclops thing.
Yeah.
It's like, and he's just having fun. He's like, where's
not even having fun. He's like trying to get out of there to go back and watch Takada-chan. You know.
Yeah.
He gets promoted and nobody knows the reason he did it so well so fast. He was trying to go home.
Trying to see the special.
Also, it was a really quick thing, but we got confirmation from Miguel that the power of Gojo comes from his eyes. So yeah, maybe the reason he keeps it wrapped is kind of like suppressing his own power, maybe, and then because he takes off whenever he's serious time.
Yeah.
So,
makes sense. Like he doesn't. It's kind of like Inumaki doesn't want to accidentally use his own people he cares about.
Yeah, like maybe he can misfire, so he wears glasses and wraps his face.
Yeah, And also just they spoke again that his powers work with space-time.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so powerful.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all I got.
The
Oh, the ending with Rika.
ending with Rika, right?
Oh yeah, that was sweet.
After the whole fight is done, Geto loses an arm, and we see Geto is dying, basically.
Yeah. And go.
I wanted to bring up that I just remembered, because I kept remembering it periodically throughout the movie. Geto doesn't have the patch on his forehead. In the series, he has a scar across his forehead.
Yes, that's right. He has like he was Frankenstein. That's when we see him like
Patch.
that.
What patch?
It's just the scar
No,
like
I know the
Frankenstein.
scar, but what was there before? I don't remember.
Nothing. He had a clean, pretty face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if maybe that coat rack guy that we saw in the series gave him a new arm.
And put him back together.
Yeah, maybe connected it to his brain.
Because I was thinking,
Oh, go ahead.
No, yours first.
Okay. I was just going to say, I was think that maybe then that sound that we heard after it cut to black was Gojo slashing his forehead.
Oh, yeah. Because, I was thinking, like, when Gojo goes to kill him, how are you going to kill a guy that strong? Honestly, I feel like you're going to have to shred him or something. Because I feel like there's always something that he has so many curses, so many
he got
methods.
all of them, though.
He used all of them.
Yeah,
but I feel like he had something up his sleeve. Like, I know he was ready to die. He was limping away like he could escape. But then he saw Gojo's like, oh, I guess I'm dead now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know Gojo knows how to kill him, but I wonder if he did. Because we know he didn't. He's alive.
Yeah.
So, did he do it on purpose not kill him? Or was he trying to maim him and maybe, put him down to, like, behave? Or did he just miss? Did it, but it was like a didn't take kind of thing.
Yeah. There's also that whisper scene where he's talking to him, right?
Yeah,
Right.
he tells him something.
And he's like...
Something very surprising.
Yeah, because he was like, you at least curse me in the end.
Yeah.
What could that be?
I think one of you guys were saying, like, he told him he's his best friend.
I feel like that's too easy.
It's too easy, yeah.
Something surprising.
Yeah.
What if he's like, I'm going to reform the whole system and then kill all of them?
Maybe he's planning something radical as well. Because that's actually a good point. He also wants to kill all the old people.
He almost did.
Yeah, him and Geto want the same thing, just they don't
Different
agree on the
ways.
way.
Yeah. And also, what's his name? Gojo doesn't hate humans.
No.
So, there's another kind of important difference.
Yeah.
Yes, kind of important.
And something interesting, I doubt they'll ever do it. But I wonder if Yuta might ever join the other side, because the only reason he isn't on their side, because he doesn't know if it's right or wrong. He's
right.
He's just like, my friends are on this side, so
I like
I'm
that.
Chill over here.
There's reason for living right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that brings us to the after credits.
Wait, let's talk about right before that.
What?
We see the scene with Rika being
Oh,
released.
yeah. So we find out that Gojo suggests, or he allowed Geto to push Yuta. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, he was a lot because he knew that Yuta had to under something like he had to break in order to break the curse. He had to like be the one to. I don't know how the curse exactly was broken, but he had to be the one to like get to that point mentally with the love or whatever it was in order to break the curse, and he needed like a push to see the friends hurt or whatever fight against Geto.
Right, he needed to give himself completely to her.
Right.
Over to the curse, so that then the ball would be in her court of what happens next.
Yes. And she decided to let go.
Yeah. She didn't retaliate.
She said the last 9 years were happier than when she was alive. 6 years. Which, again, she had some issues beforehand.
Yeah.
The whole Mary thing, like, I think there's more messed up stuff in the background that will one day get flashback to maybe.
Perhaps.
But, yeah. Because we know he still has the Rika thing.
Yeah.
So, is it just, maybe it's just he has that power and it manifested as her, or used as a host, or I can't imagine he just brought her back again. So, yeah, I guess we have to see.
Right, and then after that is when...
Yeah, Yuta shows up in Miguel's country.
Yes.
Africa.
eating Miguel's food and describing it like, this is good. But Miguel is being all weird. It's like, are they gone?
It's like, oh yeah, they went to Yuta just being totally oblivious.
Yeah.
It's like, so are you alone, child?
Yes. I really hope that's what it was, because at first I was like, I'm still very concerned that Yuta is like just chilling, working with the bad guys. Like, yeah, he's bad to the bone. He's real good, and he's like, yeah, they're gone. Kind of not caring. But he seemed innocent enough, like especially the way he reacted to seeing Gojo. So I'm hoping it's just they were going to use him or trying to recruit him or something.
Yeah. Why are they in Kenya?
Why the heck?
Vacation.
I thought they would be in Greece, because at the end of the Jujutsu Kaisen series, we get a little glimpse of Yuta, right at the end of the credits, I think. And it looks, the art, there was like arches. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop waving around this pencil. There was like arches of like a whitewashed stone place, and it looked like Greece architecture. So, and he was also walking with somebody. I didn't recognize who that was.
I don't remember that scene at all.
Yeah, I don't expect you to, for whatever, because that was like my only memory of Yuta, or what he looked like, and that was when he parted his hair to the other side. Because throughout this movie, his hair has been down. Now,
at the end, in the credit scene,
in the credit scene, it was parted the way I saw it before.
I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah, I actually mistook him for someone else at first.
Really? I knew it was him, but I didn't notice the hair change.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if perhaps whatever happens there in Kenya is why he's suspended. Because he got suspended for fighting I think it was fighting... I thought it was fighting students, but I don't know.
He just got suspended.
Suspended, yeah. I kind of wonder if he's like on a secret mission and they're just like, oh, he's suspended.
Infiltrate.
And where is he traveling with people that he's A, in Kenya, B, the guy is asking, are they gone?
Right, yeah, what's going on
and
there?
Why is he there on his own now? Because he said, didn't he say they got on a train or something?
I don't know. I thought it was plane. I thought he was on a plane.
One of them. So he's there on his own now for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe to taste Kenyan food. Don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, I would give this. I know we're not really super on the rankings for movies yet, but I would just give it an A, because I wouldn't say this is S. It transcends anime, and it's just a great movie overall to me. It's a great anime movie.
Yeah. I would say it's an A as well.
Yeah, and I think it works really well to draw you back into Jujutsu Kaisen and make you can't wait for the next season.
100%.
So I think it's well placed as well.
Yeah. We're running a bit short on time, so I'll keep it short and sweet. So guys, thank you guys very much for being here. Guys, if you like time here, please remember, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Check out the Patreon if you guys want to see shows that we watch. You can see those a whole week ahead or see uncut version of those shows. Check out social media as well. Thank you very much. Remember, leave a comment, talk about your experience with the movie. I'll see you guys next time in React City. Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, bye.
Special thanks to our patrons: Mater Paradoxa, OGZ, Raul Iggy Nisho, Fizbuzz, and Andrew Guan.